Global from Asia, episode 257. We are on the road in Yiwu talking manufacturing, Amazon listings, and cross-border trade wars.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight-up, actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in to a Global from Asia podcast. You're often on the road. I know a lot of listeners are on the road. This time, we're on the road. Literally. It's episode 257 of Global from Asia, and we are here in Zhejiang province. A lot of people know the keyword Yiwu, which is a market city. And today, I'm in the car in Ino's car. Ino is our trusted quality control partner here from Insight Quality. All right, on the road again. So if you guys are making cross-border payments, like many of you are, including myself, definitely check out GoRemit.hk, a Asia-based cross-border payment company for your Hong Kong bank to pay to various places into mainland China, Vietnam, and other parts, whether it's for fixed costs, staff, suppliers, and other reasons. Check them out. They are a sponsor of our show, and I very much appreciate that. www.goremit.hk. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Ino.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah.
It's even raining.
Yeah.
We'll put a picture on the show notes so people can see us, but I'm passenger side. Ino's in the cockpit here, and we're going over this massive bridge in between factories. We have quite a few things we're going to be doing the next few days. I just came up from Thailand again. I know some listeners have noticed I was in Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Guangzhou just a little bit less than a couple weeks ago. But there's a lot happening, and we got some orders and some things going on with this Amazon business. So it's just happening, and I felt like, I'll be honest, we'll talk about it maybe in the show, but it is a little bit hard to not be in China with sourcing and manufacturing. And I know there's different samples Ino's been collecting from factories that have been sitting at the desk. He's been willing to send it down to me in Thailand, but I don't know. I think I told Ino, I was like, man, the flight might be the same price as the customs duties. There was a couple times the Moka pots came down from Shenzhen, and the taxes were like $100, I think. It was insane. They just seem to charge anything that they want. But I also wanted to get up here. I have not yet seen we'll talk about that later, but I'll see the Moka pot factory. Actually, some updates with the Moka pot factory. We'll also talk about some trade war things and others. But before we get into it, you've been on the show a couple of times already, at least.
Yes.
But do you mind just introducing yourself a bit?
Well, I'm here in China already 5-6 years, and I'm working in Insight Quality Services as a supervisor for control inspections and auditing. We also do testing services for our clients.
Great. Yeah. It's really, and Andy Church has been on the show. He's the guy, the owner of the company, and he's he's like the nicest guy, right? He's really very helpful for the community and everybody, and so yeah, you guys have been really flexible with us, and we appreciate that. And I know you help a lot of quite big companies as well as other sellers with sourcing and quality control. And I'm noticing this even more is important as I'm outside of China lately. So
Just like Andy likes to say, we are your feet on the ground here, not just for inspection. Whatever you need, we are here.
yeah, it's totally been true. So, you helped me out when getting here. Also coming back, I just came back. I went the craziest flight because I'm also going down to Hong Kong and Shenzhen. So I went from Chiang Mai, Thailand to Changsha, which is a city in Hunan province in central China. I've never been there before, and I told on WeChat, like, hey, I'm in Changsha. He's like, what?
Where? Why you didn't fly to Yiwu or Hangzhou directly.
I don't want to say I'm being cheap, but what happened was I looked up the flight prices, and a return ticket from Chiang Mai to Hangzhou is on a few hundred, maybe a little bit more than a few $100s. And then I did a multi-destination, which was adding in Hong Kong and then back to Chiang Mai. So it routed me through Changsha for some reason. So I was like, whatever. So I had like a 6-hour wait in Changsha, and then came into Hangzhou, and then took a bus to Yiwu last night. And now it's raining now. I think you'll hear the raindrops in the car. But now we are in factories. But when I got in, the customs, I feel like they're getting a little more strict. Or is it just me, or I haven't been here? But he's flipped through all my passport pages, and I used to have a work permit. Now I'm on a business visa, 10-year business visa. And he says, what, you work here? I'm like, no, I don't work here anymore. I used to work here. And then they asked me like why I'm coming. I'm like, I know what they'll like to hear, but giving them money. So I said I'm buying from a factory, which I'm literally doing. So there was a couple of them talking, and they let me in. But I think I was like one of the only foreigners in Changsha. There's not many foreigners there, so they had not much else to do. And but let's get into the show. So there's been of course we had a great episode with Kornilia from Forest Shipping last week on the trade war insights, which was a really in-depth one. But of course there's still lots to talk about. We'll get into that. But also I just noticed it seems more blue sky and fluffy clouds than I remember in Yiwu even last year's. And you mentioned, before we recorded, there's some things happen.
Yeah, Chinese government is doing a lot to improve the environment and reduce pollution. Like in Yiwu, they developed whole industrial water sewer system which didn't exist before. They are controlling strictly about chemical usage. It has to be in certain industrial zones. Not every industrial zone can use the glue and the chemicals for colors. But when I first time came to China in 2009, the sky was gray.
I remember it was always gray.
And my nose, when I used tissue was always black.
Yeah.
And I remember when the Chinese government started to push to reduce pollution and improve environment protection, that first days when blue sky and fluffy clouds appeared, everybody was placing photos on WeChat. WeChat was full of sky photos those days. But now it's already normal for about a year, maybe even 2 years.
Wow, okay. I don't remember. Maybe the burning season in Chiang Mai also. There's a burning season, dry season in Chiang Mai, so it's like it was pretty polluted there, but it's getting better now. So I'm noticing skies more.
Yeah, in Zhejiang province it's much better, and it's almost constantly clear like this, like what you are seeing now.
Amazing. But the factory are same. The production is the same.
No.
But they changed the process. But
for industries that I know of, like the jewelry, they don't do the polishing in water anymore. They need to use the dry process. Then for the fabric dyeing, I know some big factories around Hangzhou area, Haining. There is a lot of dyeing factories. They completely had to replace their production lines to be regulated according to the environment law. So a lot of factories did much investments to reduce the pollution. It's not just government investment.
Wow.
And a lot of smaller factories that were not able to invest, they had to shut down.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask that next. So, I guess if you don't do it, you're out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, the strong arm of the China law. Man, don't mess with the government here.
Yep.
Maybe we'll talk about that later in the trade wars part. But I just want to also add a point I have on my list is I do miss China. I think a lot of us, we like the action. Of course, I mean, there's some night markets and there's some touristy stuff in Chiang Mai, or even have been to Bangkok a few times. But I mean, like for example, I was in a hotel in Yiwu last night, and it's called Xiaolong Xiao. Some listeners might know it means like it's like a crawfish, I think, right? It's like a small little it's like a mini lobster.
Yeah.
And they're all eating this lobsters, there's big bowls of them. You just kind of peel them and eat them, and they're drinking. There's some 4 or 5 Chinese guys with no shirts on drinking baijiu, which I'm sure listeners might know is like this horrible rubbing alcohol, like liquor that's just 80%, 90% alcohol. But and they're chugging and playing that dice game, the cups and the dice, and it's just so loud, and there's markets everywhere.
Live.
Loud and live. But no, I had to change my room actually. Because they put my room right above the there was somebody playing a guitar, and then it was like, man, I was like gonna sleep inside of the market or whatever they were doing there. So they moved me, which is nice. But I did miss that. I walked around a bit, and you know, it's something that is, I think,
Yeah.
I like, you know, I think you were saying.
For me also, when I go back to Europe, then I rest for maybe 10 days or 2 weeks. It's good to have a rest, but after that I feel boring. Everything is so slowly, not so many people. It's really like, it's just for holiday, but it would be really difficult for me to go back after living in China, especially that EU is so fast about lifestyle and business. Everything is done very quickly.
It's true. I mean, I guess they call that like reverse culture shock, or, you know, I guess I'm going through it a little bit. I mean, I guess I could network more in Chiang Mai. Honestly, I just kind of work online and at home, but, you know, it is true. I mean, it's hard to find somewhere else besides China that has this energy and fast-paced feeling, which is what attracts a lot of us adventurers to come here. And then another point before we get into the business part, well, this is business too, but this whole trade war stuff, it's escalating more. I feel my wife is scaring me about being an American in China now, and but let's first get your insights about, you know, what are you hearing on the ground here in Yiwu and Zhejiang province with the whole U.S.-China trade war?
Well, it's really difficult to define or give a simple answer, but many people are afraid, and they're just waiting. They are not doing much. They just keep their business at the level it is, continuing with the orders and products they have. They're afraid to develop or invest too much. Some of our clients that we do inspections for, they try to source like cut and sew products in Cambodia to get out of China, but the problem is that Chinese factories in Cambodia, it's Chinese owners. They have production in China, they have production in Cambodia, then they have different MOQ and delivery times, depends you produce where. In Cambodia it's like one style, one color, minimum is 5,000 pieces.
Crazy.
Then delivery time is 120 days, because other Asian countries don't have all material production. So when they get order in Cambodia, they need to, for example, order fabric from China. Then they need to wait 1.5 months to just to get the fabric, then they can start the production. So many people are looking for other options, but they are not finding them.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been hearing mostly. Talking to a lot of people in the community. It's not like even before the trade war, people were trying to diversify their suppliers outside of China, but it's so hard. I mean,
yeah, I also know a few American factories that produce different products here in China. They were thinking about moving outside of China even before 2-3 years, when the wages were constantly, slowly, but they were constantly going up. Then the costs were higher, but they didn't want to move away from China since the moving cost is so high.
It's true. Yeah, I think in business school or whatever I learned in college, the switching costs, the cost is, you might save, your price might go down unit cost, but you have this huge upfront time and money and risk of maybe you'll save money per piece, but the nightmare is you will get the wrong, not the same quality, right? Like
the quality will be different. You will get unexperienced workers. If you have a lot of machinery, they will broke machines. Like I know a guy in Europe. He's producing staples for furniture industry, for wood. Then he say every new worker cost me 5,000 euros in tools. It's in average. I pay 5,000. They destroy tools in value of 5,000 euros.
Wow.
Because they don't have any experience. But you cannot go to new developing country and find workers experienced in everything.
It's true. And so yeah, somebody's gonna have, I guess 20, 30, whatever years ago with China, people were investing in teaching China factories this, but now the Chinese factories know this, and this can be painful, but if somebody's gonna have to teach and develop this infrastructure and this outside of China, so that's even if the 25% happens, it's not happened yet, right? I mean, so many people are so confused, but it's not yet happened, has it? The increase, it happened, or what? Well, I'm so scared too. Like,
what you said, the problem is all infrastructure. We have one client that is also sourcing from Vietnam, but every few days they cannot find some material, then ask us to source material in China for them.
Crazy.
So it's problem with delivery times, materials, like we discussed this morning also. When you get into Canton Fair for some products, you even can get the samples, custom-made samples with your logo next day if the factory is in Guangzhou or Shenzhen. They get the sample overnight, but I don't think that's possible in
it's just
other countries.
I mean, I always try to tell people there's Chinatowns all around the world, and I think any Chinatown is hardworking. These Chinese people just, they work really, really hard, like day and night, family businesses, kids, grandparents, like everybody is working hard. And it's just the culture, which actually leads into the next question. I put in the beginning of the show, the Serbian adult diapers. It seems like maybe they're learning from some China pressure or hardworking ethics is happening there.
Yeah, there was an investment from South Korean manufacturer that is doing cables for car industry. So they are producing in Serbia because it's in East Europe. Then they deliver all the product to Germany and Czech Republic, where the main automobile factories are. And work ethics there is factory rule is you get to work, you wear diapers, then when the bell rings that the work is done, you can go home. You don't have right to go to toilet.
Oh no.
Then people were complaining, but government didn't want to do anything because they have I forgot two or 3,000 workers. It's really huge. But the people still work there. They have no other options because the industry in Serbia after the war is almost dead.
That's crazy. I don't know. I guess I would just anyway, I optimize everything, but I guess I have to optimize my bathroom schedule. That's insane. Oh man.
Yeah, so people have no option. They have to wear diapers.
I'm not gonna comment. Maybe that's horrible. I mean, I don't know. There's also there was the Foxconn suicides. I have talked about my personal blog like almost 10 years ago, 2010.
Yeah.
When the iPhone 4 was so popular, and there was all these suicides at Foxconn, and I felt like it was the same headline there, like Apple iPhone record sales, and then the headline 2 was Foxconn suicides. I'm like, that's the same article, because
Yeah.
I'm sure they're putting a lot of pressure on those factory workers to make more iPhones faster.
Yeah.
Work overtime, make more iPhones, increase KPI, increase output. I think that's probably why those suicides were happening. So,
Yeah, people couldn't hold anymore.
yeah, and there's always the line, and where is the line in productivity and efficiency, but we're trying to be more efficient here at the Sisitano and our Amazon FBA. So, I'm here with because we finally got a Yiwu market order in. I want to try to add more listings. I know a few of our loyal listeners have given me great feedback and gotten involved with our Moka pot and our French press, but we need more than that. And I know it's 1,000-piece MOQ is a big one, especially for an Amazon seller or people with a new product. But we got a few products. I'll maybe put some pictures in the show notes, but they are today going into Insight Quality's warehouse in Yiwu. So we just had to get one carton, which was like 20 to 40 pieces, I think.
Yeah, around.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember.
For sure, it was less than 100.
Yeah, so I think the cost was like less than $1,000.
Yeah, for 4 items.
For 4 different items. Of course, we got to pay there's some shipping and some prepping and stuff like that, but I think that's totally worth it, right? I mean, the unit cost, we could probably get better, if we got more. Of course, we get a better price.
Yes.
But especially when you're starting out on a business, you just want to get some data, you want to get some experience.
Yeah, even supplier agreed to do the custom logo on the product.
Yeah, I can't.
On two products which were able to, they are from metal, so they could do the laser engraving.
Yeah, so they're gonna put the Sistan logo on 2 of them. So we'll get some pictures for the show notes, but maybe a little video too. But this is what I'm finally. I've been wanting to do this for a
Happy
while.
about.
Finally, we got it. I won't. I guess maybe the problem was there was too many decision makers and we didn't make enough decisions fast enough, maybe. Or of course, we want to build our own brand. We want to have our own packaging. We're also going to put it in our own canvas bag. We're going to have it in our own branded packaging and everything too. So. And a lot of this is due to, and Insight Quality's help. But, I think you said you saw some comments in Facebook groups too, right? People looking for products. What are your feelings on that?
Well, people, when I look at the Amazon Facebook groups, when people talk, they were like, I'm looking for a product for the last 6 months every day. I cannot find anything. Why always look? Just go inside the Yiwu market, find something that is low MOQ, that supplier is willing to sell you one carton, and just try 5, 10, 20 different items, depends from your budget, but you need to start somewhere.
Agreed. And the margin, the profit might not be so high because the pricing and the handling, and of course you got to spend time or money on making the listing, the photos, but it's about the long term. You shouldn't think of the short term, right? You can increase your profit as you grow. You also got to spend some ads, advertising, and use some kind of way to really get this thing rolling. So
yeah, but I also feel that Amazon is profits are much less than what people were talking about before a few years. So everybody needs to think in terms of quality. You cannot get any more high profit per piece if you don't develop something completely new. If you are selling something that many people are selling and do just the quality control and custom packaging, that will not differentiate you enough to do much higher profits. You need to be in range with everybody else.
True. Well, actually, I started searching for some of these, they're all in the coffee accessory category, and I honestly, at least the keywords I used, I couldn't even find some of these exact, at least matching exactly. Of course, there's different types of, it's like coffee drips, and it's like different various items. Like some of them I could find very similar or exact, but some I couldn't find that exact either style. Of course, there was variations that were similar that were being sold, but so I don't know if we'll but I'm just happy we get to add some new listings. Also, is Christmas, so hopefully we can get a test in. I don't know. How about Christmas? I mean, we're in June
already.
So when is a good deadline for Christmas orders usually? I know it depends.
Well, if you're starting with a new product, you basically best would be to have the product already in Amazon, because if you are testing new product, you need 1-2 months to see how the sales will go. Then you can evaluate what quantity you need for Christmas. You cannot just go inside Christmas time with 5,000 pieces of some new item that you were never selling.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit nervous we don't have enough time for really max, because now we have, say, 25 pieces of one new listing. I'm a little bit I don't know, because we might, if it does good, then we're out of stock, and then to really make money, you gotta do that 1,000-piece order, at least, or multiple. But it's long term. Maybe we won't make it these new ones, but I think it's part of a product-based business to doing any e-commerce business, Amazon business, whatever. I mean, well, any business, you should be learning new offers, new listings, new services to your portfolio to expand your business. So, and then I guess everybody knows about the Moka pot. It's been an ongoing saga. There's been a little bit of break lately from the updates on this Moka pot, but there's this drama. It's a hard product. Maybe I'm over it. I think it's so we did a reorder, and some of the handles were breaking off, because not from China to the US, but from Amazon to consumer, and it went above the 7% return rate, so it kept getting taken off Amazon, and we turned it back on a couple of times, but the second or third time I had to make the hard decision to recall it, so I pulled it out of Amazon to a third-party warehouse. Mark Roca, our partners, you've heard him on the show, he says he recommended one, and we used it, and yeah, I mean, I don't even really know how much total cost that was, because they pulled them out slowly, so the warehouse kept receiving them from Amazon, carton or box by box. But anyways, so we have to reorder, or at least we want to reorder. It's switching factory. I don't know if Ino would consider that, but one thing that's crazy is this factory after Chinese New Year, which we're going to be seeing their new factory this weekend. I wanted to do it before the show, but I want to get the show out on Tuesday. But basically, the sales rep moved to another company. I'm still in touch with her, but there's a new sales rep, and anyway, it's been a lot of changes, because they moved the factory, so the sales girl didn't want to move. It's about 3 hours south in Yiwu, and so the situation is we got to go down there and see and place a new order. And I sent them like a PDF specification showing them the pictures of the problem we had. And of course probably was our fault. It's always the buyer's, not always, but often the buyer's faults. I should have been more clear. We should have been more clear of putting bubble wrap packaging. I think we're also not going to package it as one complete Moka pot. I think we'll unspin it into 2 pieces and then wrap each piece separately into the box, so that there's not as much space where the handle's banging around. That's another idea I want to talk to the factory about. But I think this is the job of the seller, right? You're trying to, of course, don't want to have some tragedy like this, but each order you can be improving your process, improving your product. So what we are planning to do is go down there, meet the new sales girl, and see the factory owner. We also want to get a bigger version of Moka pot. I honestly think it was a competitor's, but it's hard to know. But we started getting hit with negative reviews a little bit consistently, at least a couple in a row, and I never saw this problem, but people were buying it saying, it says 6 cup, but it makes 1 cup. But Ino is a European, so he's maybe laughing at the stupid Americans. It's an espresso maker, so an espresso is like a very small cup. And I'm not cheating people. It's called a 6 cup. That's what this is called in the industry. It's called a 6 cup coffee maker. But anyways, just keep the story going. Is they said it was so they gave us 1 star. I take it personal, shouldn't, but 1 star, and they said this is BS. It says 6 cup, but it only makes 1 cup, and it was like 2 in a row.
If your cup is big enough, you can put 9 cup also inside one.
yeah, I know, right? What if it's a jug, pitcher? But that never even happened on any of the nobody ever complained in email, messages, reviews. So just out of nowhere, like 2 in a row about that. So that makes me feel like it's a competitor, but it could be a legitimate customer. That's the dirty game sometimes in Amazon, they say. But we're gonna go down there. So I guess my question to Ino is, how do you feel? We're going to move to a new factory in Chinese New Year. Maybe it's cost. I mean, what's the pros and cons or risks we
should look at that change from how it's affecting you. Well, the good thing is, when they move to new location, you ask me, are there going to be any problems? I told you best would be not to make any orders immediately, because they move to new location, they need to set up the system, organize themselves. But you also said the salesperson is new, so they don't know into detail what are your requirements, what kind of problems you had in past, to make sure that they don't happen again. So it definitely can have bad effect on quality. You could get worse product, but that's why we are going there. We will review their internal quality control process, go through the issues that have happened from first order until today. You said you created a list with photos.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the issues, so we will do the detailed check with them. To make sure that their production manager knows about the issues.
Yeah, so I think what people should learn from is documenting and making it as clear as possible, right? We can get upset, we can blame, etc., etc., but I think I'm not trying to blame anybody, actually. And then of course they get defensive. I remember they said it wasn't broken when we sent it. I'm like, I didn't say it was broken when you sent it. I said it's broken when the customer's getting it. But I documented everything. So all the photos from the Amazon customers, from the repackaging warehouse, and listed out all the issues, and then also the suggestions.
Yeah, when you are doing the product with a factory, it's best to outline everything. What is the size, weight, thickness of the material, color. What we were asking always from you is to get one sample that you will sign or put a stamp on your product to have it as approved sample, so we can compare when we do inspection. So we can compare bulk product with approved sample if there are any differences between shipments.
Definitely, yeah, exactly.
Of course, your problem with the breaking handles is that the packaging was not done properly. So you need to mark what kind of packaging is required, carton box, then air bubble foil inside. air bubble foil was missing in that second shipment.
That was what was the problem. So yeah, I mean, just somebody on your team has to be responsible, and for now it's me, so I'm taking responsibility. But it's also good to have it documented. You can just, and then the stupid packaging. Remember the coffee with one E? We've done this on both orders. The original designer from Upwork somehow forgot to spell coffee on one of the sides of the box of the Moka pot and said coffee, when it's time for a coffee, is our slogan, and COFFE. So we've twice had to print stickers and place stickers over, which is obviously it was both good that we caught it before it left China, because
the factory was not willing to place the stickers, so you had us do that.
Yeah, you guys had to help out, so that's another great reason to have QC and people here that could help you, because I know that I don't know if Ino probably knows people. There's people that don't do QC or don't have at least somebody check it besides the factory before it's shipped. It's insanity. And I can't.
It's like playing poker. You will win or lose.
Yeah, it's really.
But for sure,
it's
you will lose sometimes.
But the worst, it's not even really poker, because poker has odds. This is like, I don't want to have this investment. If you divide the cost of having somebody help you check it, divided by the order value, and then or you divide that over by your whole business, or at least that listing. You know what I mean? Like that should be your gamble, your bet. This is like a no-brainer to have, because as clear as you can be. People don't listen or read or check. You just gotta have as much protection as possible. So we're still on the road, but I guess we're getting to. I kind of cover most of my points, and well, also some other exciting news. We got some partnership deal we're talking about. You're having your Italian coffee business going in China.
Yeah. Well, I was working a long time to get the blend made to how I want it. Then I got the blend made, and first shipment, it's about 1,200 kg. Should be shipping in 10 days from Italy.
Wow.
So I was also checking about the local market, because my first target is to sell inside China to coffee shops, hotels, restaurants.
Awesome.
My first product is only roasted coffee beans, so I will not sell grounded coffee yet as a first step.
Sure.
And I'm having some issues with finding, because I'm building my own brand name and trademark. Then I went to the agent to register the trademark. Then I give him one name. He said it's too similar to something that is already registered. And I tried 10 different ones. Then best what I get is what he told me is 70% chance of pass. But in the end, he said, try to find more names so we can check which is best one. Because in his opinion, 70% is really very low for the pass. So right now, my first coffee shipment is going with, it's not trademarked. So the switch from non-trademark to trademark is also going to be a problem.
Oh.
But I have no way.
Wow. Sounds like another that sounds like a whole that sounds like a lot of good knowledge and experience to share. But it's true. I mean, there's China trademarks is very tricky, and it's it's
need to find. I want something that sounds Italian, but looks like almost everything is registered already.
Oh.
And I need to find a name in Italian and in Chinese that both names are free, and they need to at least sound similar.
Wow.
And difference must be more than 75%. Only 25% similarity is allowed with another brand name. So it's also a challenge because this.
Craziness. Well, yeah, we have to keep us updated. But yeah, I mean, we're hoping to help you maybe sell in America from through our network.
Yeah, since we are doing coffee accessories, we started to talk about.
Yeah, we were chatting about it.
Selling in US, but we need to decide size of packaging, beans or grounded. We need to do due diligence.
Yeah, everything takes time and work and risk, but I'm sure we'll work on something. I'm happy at least Sistano is back. I mean, I'm getting more involved. I don't know if I formally said, but I'm being more actively involved in the business the last month or two, and it's taken. Of course, it takes time, but I've been talking to Ino, and we're getting these listings. We got this order in the warehouse. We're seeing the factories, some other factories. So it's exciting times, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, Ino.
Thank you also for having me.
Of course. So insight-quality.com is the company website. Is that the best way people can find you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have WeChat channel that they can join, but I don't know if you.
We could try to link or.
We share the blog news on our WeChat. Blog articles, but we don't do it too often, so we are not too boring. We do maybe 1 or 2 articles a month.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think sometimes less is more. I mean, sometimes with Global Major people say there's too much content, but try to keep things rolling here, and I think we'll find a way.
We don't want to be too boring, because when a business person is doing the work every day, they don't want to listen about quality every week. They need to focus on quality from time to time. Finish that and let us do the manual work.
True. And you guys do great. And we're lucky to have you helping us out and also supporting, with the community and sharing this information. So definitely, obviously goes without saying, I recommend you guys reach out to Insight Quality, and they got people like Andy's in Texas most of the time, and Ino's here, and there's a whole team. There's offices and
we have administrators also in Europe, so we are fully covered in 24 hours.
Okay, perfect. So thanks everybody for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's show, episode 257. Global from Asia.com/episode 257. For show notes, we'll have a photo, definitely of us, Ino and I, in the car, probably some pictures at the factory, or some of the etching that they did with just 24-piece MOQ, and others, as well as always the full show notes, and we're actually starting to add the transcription too. So globalmajor.com/episode 257. Thank you everybody for choosing to listen, and we will see you next time. Take care. Thank you, Ino.
You're welcome. Bye.
Do you need content for your growing online business? Who doesn't? The team at Global from Asia is put together contentinvestments.com to give you the same quality content production for your business. Are you interested to learn more? Check out our various packages and get involved today at www.contentinvestments.com. Okay, it's just me on the mic. We're between more factories, and I hope my voice came out all right. I'm realizing one of the cables I have is had too many recordings, so it didn't work so well. I hope Alvin, our magician video and audio editor, can make that better. So, but do you guys like that? Interact truly on the ground. We're just had another intense meeting with the factory. The funniest thing is you just can't hide that you're doing Amazon or e-commerce. I remember I was in the past when I used to do this 10 years ago. They didn't really check eBay or your website, or sometimes they would ask for your website. I don't know. But now it's like Yomazon. How do they say the Chinese? Yomazun. They're like, it's the first thing the factory owner says is like Yomazun, and he's like, "Can you help me on Amazon?" I'm like, "Man, no, I want to help me on Amazon. Help everybody. They all want Amazon. Maybe I'll introduce them to Zach or to David or Daniel or some of our other amazing Amazon consultants, but I don't know, it's like crazy. I mean, I guess Amazon is marketing hard here, and it's just a different ball game, and it's just so transparent now, so there's no secrets about price. They're gonna see these products on Amazon. They're gonna know our brand. They're gonna be able to see how much we sell it for. I don't know what's the... Also, this is the blah 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 section. I just have like a ending where I can just ramble if people want to listen or not. But I don't know. What do you do? Do you do a joint venture with these guys? I was talking, I'm like, maybe I just be a joint venture with the factory.
Yeah, that would be the best option.
Maybe just be maybe.
If they are interested.
If they think they need us anymore. Well, we'll think about it. And I said I'll send them some ideas next week. When if I ever get off this crazy road trip. Well, Shenzhen and Hong Kong next week again. But it seemed like it makes sense to, if you're gonna come out to here, might as well go down to Hong Kong and then back down to Thailand. So it's a bumpy road. I guess it's true. We actually for the interview waited until we got onto the highway. But also it's Lantern Festival. I have to admit I'm an idiot. I didn't.
Dragon Boat.
Oh, excuse me. Dragon Boat Festival. They were giving out some kind of gifts today, right? What was that? They were giving out some cookies or cakes, but it's not like Mid-Autumn festivals where they give those big. I call them the Chinese fruit cakes. The mooncake. Do you like mooncake?
Yeah, some styles I do. I don't like every style.
Oh, okay. Maybe the Starbucks ones were good, I remember. But then
I don't like those that are too dry.
Yeah, the egg. They're just a dried egg in the middle. Oh, makes my stomach.
Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, bad memories. Let's move to the next discussion point. But yeah, I mean, I guess the world is really becoming so flat, and it's almost. I guess it's become so flat, like, these factories are like, yeah, I can just go on Amazon, yeah, I can just sell in the US directly.
The problem for people that are doing that assortment is that this factory is gonna jump in on Amazon with 600 products at the same time. So how are you going to compete against them?
It's true, he says I have 600 products, and maybe but I mean, that's why, I mean, maybe Donald Trump might not be the most soft-spoken, but I think it's true. I mean, look at what's happened. I saw this happening 10, 15 years ago when I came here, and it was just a matter of time before the factory is like, wait a minute, I know.
They want to build their own brand and be present in the market under their brand name.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time, right? Because we always say this on the show. That's the main value is the brand.
Yes.
So why would they keep making it for somebody else when? And then also it was something I just mentioned. Like this factory is thinking maybe their U.S. customers will stop buying from them. So maybe they will go to other places. So maybe that's why he's even thinking I need to sell on Amazon now more than ever.
Yes.
because I have to take control and I have to make sure that I keep getting my...
That I stay in the market, that he stays in the market.
Yeah, so that even might be an unexpected backlash from the Trump tariffs, is they sell directly. Now, that actually might be...
Yeah, they sell to end customer, then if they still can compete with the price
Exactly.
and keep the factory running, they will be happy.
That's actually kind of true, because that 25% might just kill the middleman.
Yeah, it's highly likely possible.
Yeah, and then they'll die, and then the factories will just list on Amazon themselves and just give up that 25%. Anyway, this is kind of depressing. But I still think that China won't be able to, I think China will just wait longer than Trump will wait, I think
everybody is saying that.
That's what everybody's been saying, is they can't wait for China can wait for a lot longer. Trump has the re-election, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope my audio was okay on that last on my side, and thanks again, Ino, and we got another
Thank you also.
Yeah, another 2 hours on the road. See if my battery lasts, and get this to our production team so that you guys can listen in just a few days from now. It's pretty awesome, huh? Just record on Thursday and then it's online on Tuesday. And factories are on Amazon on Tuesday. Oh, man.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.